Mirrors. We use them every day without a second thought. But what if I told you that your own reflection could become your worst nightmare? Today, we're diving into a chilling tale that might make you think twice before looking into that bathroom mirror.
Oh, wow, you've got my attention already. What kind of spooky story are we talking about here?
Well, it's a tale that starts innocently enough with someone moving into a new apartment. You know that feeling of excitement when you're starting fresh in a new place? But in this case, that excitement quickly turns to terror, all because of an old bathroom mirror.
I'm intrigued. What's so special about this mirror? It's not like mirrors are inherently creepy, right?
Well, that's the thing. At first glance, there's nothing particularly unusual about it. The landlord mentions it's a bit old and loose in its frame, but that's hardly cause for alarm. It's what happens when our protagonist looks into it that sets this story apart.
Oh no, I can already feel the goosebumps forming. What did they see?
On the first night, they notice something off. Their reflection seems to linger just a fraction of a second too long after they move. It's subtle, easy to dismiss as tiredness or imagination. But then it happens again the next night, and things start to escalate from there.
That's unsettling. It reminds me of the concept of the uncanny valley in robotics and animation. You know, where something is almost human-like, but not quite, and it creates this deep sense of unease.
Exactly. It's that slight deviation from what we expect that really gets under our skin. And in this story, that uncanny feeling only grows. By the third night, our protagonist is actively avoiding the mirror, brushing their teeth in the kitchen sink just to avoid catching their reflection.
I don't blame them one bit. But let me guess, avoiding the mirror doesn't solve the problem.
You've got it. In fact, it seems to make things worse. As they're passing the bathroom one evening, they get this intense feeling of being watched. And when they finally gather the courage to look, what they see is truly chilling.
Oh no, what is it? I'm almost afraid to ask it.
Their reflection is there, but it's wrong. The head is tilted slightly to the side, and there's this eerie smile on its face. A smile that our protagonist definitely isn't making.
That's absolutely terrifying. It's like the mirror image has developed a mind of its own. What did they do?
Well, they did what any of us would do. They ran, locked themselves in their bedroom, and refused to come out until morning. But here's where it gets even creepier in the daylight. The mirror seems perfectly normal again.
Ugh, that almost makes it worse. The uncertainty of it all would drive me crazy. Did they try to get rid of the mirror?
They did. They called the landlord and begged for a replacement, but it would take a week to arrive. In the meantime, they covered the mirror with a towel, but that didn't stop the terror.
Let me guess, something happened even with the mirror covered.
Exactly. One night, they hear tapping coming from the bathroom, and then a voice, their own voice, but not quite, saying, "Come back."
Oh, that sent chills down my spine. It's like something out of a Stephen King novel. What happened next?
As soon as it was light, they tore the mirror off the wall and threw it in the dumpster. The landlord replaced it a few days later, and for a while, everything seemed normal.
But I'm guessing that's not the end of the story.
You're right. Even now, they sometimes catch glimpses in mirrors, any mirror, of that same eerie smile. It's gone in an instant, but it's enough to make them question their sanity.
That's a terrifying thought. It reminds me of the psychological concept of hypervigilance, where past trauma makes you constantly on edge, seeing threats everywhere.
Absolutely. This story taps into some deep-seated fears, the fear of losing control, of not being able to trust your own senses. It's a psychological horror that sticks with you.
It really does. And it's interesting how it uses such a common, everyday object to create that fear. Mirrors have been a source of superstition and folklore for centuries, haven't they?
Oh, definitely. In many cultures, mirrors are believed to be portals to other worlds or traps for souls. This story plays on those ancient fears, bringing them into a modern, urban setting.
It's fascinating how these old superstitions can still resonate so strongly with us today. Do you think there's a deeper meaning to this story, beyond just being a spooky tale?
That's an interesting question. I think it could be seen as a metaphor for self-reflection and the parts of ourselves we don't want to face. The mirror image acting independently could represent our subconscious or the aspects of our personality we try to suppress.
Oh, I like that interpretation. It adds a whole new layer of depth to the story. It's not just about a haunted mirror, but about confronting the darker parts of ourselves.
Exactly. And the fact that the protagonist can never fully escape these glimpses of the other self could represent how we can never truly run from our own nature, no matter how hard we try.
That's a chilling thought. It makes the story even more unsettling in a way, because it's not just about external threats, but about the fears and doubts we carry within us.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this kind of psychological horror so effective. It's not just about jump scares or gore, but about tapping into our deepest insecurities and fears.
Well, I have to say, this story will definitely stick with me for a while. I might be looking at mirrors a little differently for the next few days.
Huh. Well, just remember, if your reflection starts smiling at you when you're not smiling, it might be time to redecorate your bathroom.
Oh, don't even joke about that. But seriously, this has been a fascinating discussion. It's amazing how a simple story can lead to such deep reflections on psychology and human nature.
Couldn't agree more. And that's the power of good storytelling. It can make us question the world around us and even our own minds. So listeners, the next time you look in a mirror, just make sure your reflection behaves itself.
And if it doesn't, well, maybe it's time for a new mirror, or a new apartment, or both.
Thanks for watching this video. You can share your horror experiences through the comment section. We will see you in the next one. Bye.